You give attention. She takes it. You stop. And suddenly, everything changes. Most men think silence ends interest. It doesn't. It provokes reaction. Women are wired to notice energy shifts. They notice when you withdraw before they admit it. Today, you will learn what happens when you stop chasing, when you stop texting, when you stop responding. You will see patterns most men miss. You will understand how her mind reacts and why your calm detachment is your ultimate power. By the end of this video, you will know what she is really thinking, how she responds emotionally, and what you must do to stay in control. Sign 1. The immediate reaction. When you stop texting or replying, the first reaction is subtle but powerful. She may act indifferent, seem busy, or avoid acknowledging the change. On the surface, it looks like nothing happened, but her mind is already reacting. Women are highly sensitive to shifts in energy. When your attention disappears, they notice what they no longer influence. The absence creates a void that their brain instinctively tries to fill. Even if she does not admit it, she begins evaluating why you pulled back, what it means, and how she should respond. This reaction is rooted in basic human psychology. Attention and presence are forms of influence. Removing them changes the dynamic instantly. Women are wired to detect these shifts because it signals a potential change in priority. The mind responds automatically, analyzing behavior patterns, recalling past interactions, and predicting outcomes. This process happens below conscious awareness, which is why she might appear calm while internally assessing the situation. Stoicism teaches that your value is determined by your inner control, not external reactions. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Your calm response communicates strength far more effectively than panic, explanations, or overexertion. Emotional control signals maturity and self-reliance, qualities that naturally increase respect and attraction. The practical takeaway is simple. Do not rush to fill the silence. Maintain your schedule, focus on your priorities, and do not alter your behavior to provoke a response. Your detachment is not rejection. It is clarity. By staying composed, you allow her evaluation to happen while you remain unshaken. This first moment of withdrawal sets the foundation for all subsequent interactions, giving you control of the dynamic without appearing desperate or reactive. Sign 2. Testing boundaries. A woman tests boundaries to measure stability. You may notice messages that are playful, flirtatious, or slightly provocative. She is observing how you respond when your attention is scarce. This behavior is instinctive, not manipulative. Psychology shows humans evaluate reliability under uncertainty. When someone withdraws attention, others naturally assess consistency and emotional control. In dating, this is particularly relevant because women are wired to gauge security and predictability in potential partners. Stoicism teaches that your inner state must remain independent of external reactions. Your value does not fluctuate based on her messages or tone. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your freedom comes from maintaining composure, not from controlling her responses. Emotional detachment ensures clarity. It prevents reactive behavior that diminishes respect and authority. Practically, respond only when necessary and do so deliberately. Keep answers brief and confident. Avoid showing neediness or attempting to regain attention through overcommunication. Observe her testing calmly. Let consistency, not chasing, define your presence. By maintaining boundaries, you communicate stability, self-respect, and strength. This approach transforms her tests into a measure of your discipline rather than a source of anxiety or uncertainty. Sign 3. Subtle signals of curiosity. When she checks your social media, likes your posts, or leaves comments, it signals that your absence has captured her attention. Human psychology responds strongly to scarcity. When a source of attention withdraws, the mind evaluates its value and significance. She notices what she cannot control and begins assessing her own interest without consciously admitting it. This is not manipulation. It is instinctive evaluation of patterns and availability. From a Stoic perspective, your response matters more than her behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Your calm observation maintains inner stability. You do not allow external actions to dictate your emotional state. You focus on your schedule, your goals, and your discipline. The practical takeaway is simple. Recognize the signals, but do not overanalyze or change your behavior. A like or comment does not require a reaction. Your silence and consistency communicate value more powerfully than engagement. Observation without attachment strengthens your control over the situation. By maintaining composure, you set the standard and preserve your energy while she processes her curiosity. Sign 4. Emotional instability appears. Emotional instability emerges when you stop responding. She may send mixed signals, appear confused, or alternate between frustration and sudden warmth. This happens because humans rely on predictable patterns to feel secure. When your attention and behavior change, her emotional system seeks to re-establish control. She is not necessarily manipulative. She is reacting to uncertainty. Psychology shows that sudden shifts in attention trigger heightened awareness and emotional evaluation. Your silence destabilizes her expectations and forces her to reassess her position in the interaction. Stoic principles teach that your power lies in controlling your own mind, not in controlling hers. You cannot dictate her reactions, but you can regulate your response. Epictetus said, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views which he takes of them." This reminds you that emotional equilibrium comes from perspective and discipline, not from external validation. Practically, this means maintaining your routine and responding only with logic. Do not engage emotionally in attempts to fix her reactions. Observe her behavior without letting it dictate your mood. Your consistency reinforces your value more than any reactive engagement. By staying calm and measured, you create stability in yourself, even as her emotions fluctuate. Over time, this approach separates attachment from influence. You remain grounded, focused on your own growth, and unaffected by the volatility of her responses. This is the essence of emotional mastery in dating, where detachment and rational control become your strongest tools. Sign 5. Direct engagement or withdrawal. Direct engagement or complete withdrawal from a woman signals a pivotal moment in her evaluation of you. At this stage, she is deciding whether you are a consistent source of value or someone she can disregard without consequence. Psychologically, humans seek stability and reliability in those they invest attention in. When you maintain calm detachment, you force her to confront your consistency and emotional control. If she reaches out intentionally, it reflects curiosity, testing, or recognition of your value. If she retreats, it exposes disinterest or misalignment with her priorities. In both cases, the response reveals her true evaluation. Stoic principles emphasize mastery over self rather than others. Seneca said, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." Your power lies in maintaining self-respect and refusing to chase validation. This clarity establishes boundaries without coercion. Reacting impulsively or seeking approval compromises your authority and undermines your calm. The practical application is simple. Accept outcomes without fear. Engage only when her actions align with your values and long-term standards. If she demonstrates inconsistency, withdrawal, or disrespect, do not attempt to force attention. Your restraint communicates strength and self-possession more effectively than words or efforts to persuade. Observing behavior with rational detachment allows you to act deliberately. Your choices become intentional rather than reactive. By holding your position, you cultivate respect and maintain internal sovereignty, reinforcing the principle that your value is determined by your conduct, not by external approval or emotional fluctuations. Sign 6. The test of patience. Patience is a measure of strength. When you stop responding, days or even weeks may pass. She observes your consistency. She watches whether your silence is steady or if you react impulsively. Women are wired to evaluate emotional control. They notice stability under uncertainty. This is not about manipulation. It is instinctive assessment. Your calm presence communicates value without words. Reactivity signals dependency. Psychologically, humans are drawn to consistency. Unpredictable behavior triggers doubt. When a man remains composed, it signals self-mastery and reliability. She measures how you handle absence and emotional ambiguity. Men who maintain patience demonstrate discipline and inner security. Women sense this and are naturally more attentive to men who do not succumb to emotional impulses. Stoicism teaches that time and events are beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by and another takes its place." Your task is not to chase outcomes, but to maintain your internal state. Consistency and rational control define your presence more than words or messages. Focus on personal growth during this period. Prioritize exercise, work, hobbies, and social interactions. Strengthen your routines and expand your life. Your absence from immediate attention creates a grounded presence that cannot be rushed or forced. Patience is not passivity. It is strategic mastery. It allows her to evaluate you without pressure while you continue building your life. This approach establishes authority over your own mind and actions. Sign 7. The power of detachment. Detachment is your most powerful form of influence. When you remain calm and unaffected, she notices. Her attempts to provoke or entice you are tests of your consistency. Women are wired to read energy, not words. Your lack of reaction communicates strength more than any explanation could. This happens because human brains seek patterns. When a man does not react predictably, she evaluates her own feelings and intentions. She measures whether your presence is a source of stability or emotional turbulence. This evaluation is subconscious, but it dictates her next actions. Stoicism teaches that true control comes from governing your own mind, not hers. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Your response should reflect this principle. Detachment is not rejection. It is a deliberate choice to remain centered and self-reliant. You maintain presence without dependence on her behavior. In practical terms, this means continuing your routine, focusing on personal growth, and refusing to bend for attention. Your calm consistency is magnetic because it sets the standard for interaction. She can no longer dictate the emotional tone. Your value is defined by your composure, not her validation. By mastering detachment, you reclaim authority over your emotional state. Observe her reactions, but act only according to your principles. Your life moves forward, guided by discipline, clarity, and rational control. Detachment turns observation into strategy and presence into power. The truth is simple. Silence is not absence of care. Silence is power. Women notice energy, not words. When you withdraw, you force clarity. She evaluates herself, her intentions, and her desire. You do not need to chase, explain, or justify. Your calm, consistent detachment communicates strength she cannot ignore. Your value lies in control over your mind, not over hers. Maintain composure. Observe behavior. Respond only when it aligns with your principles. What you give attention to, you control. What you withhold, you command. You have seen how women respond when you stop talking. You have seen how your detachment shifts dynamics without effort. Focus on mastery, not manipulation. Your mind is your territory. Protect it, expand it, strengthen it. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Stoic 95, comment your thoughts, and watch the next video to master your mind before the world does.